He was supposed to be a first-round headline, an elite quarterback with swagger, stats, and a last name that echoes through NFL history. But when Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the football world erupted with confusion, controversy, and finger-pointing. And amid the silence from NFL executives, one voice rang out loud and clear: his mother's. Pilar Sanders, unbothered and unapologetic, stepped into the spotlight with a message of pride, legacy, and refusal to bow to criticism. Shedeur Sanders entered the draft process with a full resume. At the University of Colorado Boulder, he thrived under his father, Deion Sanders' coaching. In 2023, Shedeur passed for over 3,200 yards, threw 27 touchdowns, and maintained one of the lowest interception rates in his division. Despite this performance and his national media presence, he was not picked until the 144th selection by the Cleveland Browns. He was expected by some analysts to go in the first round. Even teams like the Steelers were speculated to be interested, but reportedly passed, perhaps influenced by internal opinions and outside commentary. Fans were stunned. Critics pointed fingers, and questions swirled. Was it personality, media perception, or bias against the Sanders name? Days after the draft, Pilar Sanders took to Instagram with a defiant message. She posted a video montage of her children, Shedeur, Shiloh, and Shalomi, with the caption, "Confident ladies produce confident babies, no apologies." She followed that with another message after both Shedeur and Shiloh landed NFL opportunities. 2 sons, 1 league, greatness is in the bloodline. This is more than football, it's a legendary legacy for the Headache Gang. Words cannot describe this feeling. Her words weren't about consolation. They were a call to recognize hard-earned success. Her pride was not only in their achievements, but also in their ability to stand tall in the face of public doubt and systemic dismissal. Behind the scenes, some team scouts reportedly labeled Shedeur as cocky and cited his combine interviews as among the worst they'd ever experienced. His confident responses, including, "You think I'm worried about what critics say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too," fed into a perception that may have influenced decisions. But the controversy didn't stop there. On day 2 of the draft, Shedeur received a prank phone call from Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Posing as a representative of the New Orleans Saints, Jax falsely informed Shedeur of a draft selection. The fallout was immediate. The Falcons were fined $250,000, and Jeff Ulbrich personally fined $100,000. Jax issued a public apology, calling it selfish and childish. Shedeur remained composed. "It didn't really have an impact on me," Sanders told reporters. "Of course, I feel like it was a childish act, but everybody does childish things here and there." That moment, though embarrassing, became a defining snapshot of Shedeur's maturity in the face of immaturity. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is a Hall of Famer and a headline magnet. As head coach at Colorado, he brought attention, celebrities, and critics to the program. Many questioned if the circus surrounding him hurt his son's draft stock. Deion himself has always been unapologetic, but when the theatrics overshadow performance, NFL front offices tend to grow wary. Drafting Shedeur, in the eyes of some, meant also signing up for the Prime effect. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, Coach Prime elevated Colorado's visibility, bringing in top talent and nationwide TV coverage. On the other, that spotlight became too hot for traditional teams uncomfortable with noise off the field. The question became, were they judging Shedeur's skill or reacting to his father's image? One of the most glaring narratives involved Arch Manning. Though highly touted, Manning has yet to prove himself at the college level. Still, his name keeps him in headlines. Shedeur, on the other hand, delivered on the field, but found himself dropped from conversations when it mattered most. The media's double standards were not lost on fans. It raised the question, is talent enough when perception plays such a massive role in shaping opportunity? For some, the comparison cut deep. While one quarterback with the right last name and little on-field action is celebrated as the future, another, with stats and real-world pressure performance, is labeled problematic. While Shedeur handled the chaos, his brother Shiloh took his own route. He wasn't drafted, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offered him a contract as a free agent. Shiloh earned that chance with a solid senior season at Colorado, starting 10 games and recording 67 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 2 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries, including 1 returned for a touchdown. He also had 2 games with 10-plus tackles, peaking with 13 tackles in a November 23rd matchup against Kansas. He showed versatility, leadership on the field, and the kind of instincts that defensive coordinators crave. Despite being undrafted, the Buccaneers brought him in based on ability, not name value. The Buccaneers have a track record of keeping undrafted players who prove themselves. Shiloh now enters rookie minicamp with a real opportunity. If he sticks, it'll be because he earned it, not because of who his dad is. Pilar's statements aren't just motherly pride, they've become a lens to evaluate deeper issues in sports: representation, recognition, and respect. Her public messages reflect the frustration of many who've seen talent dismissed because it doesn't fit the mold. Shedeur and Shiloh represent not just a football family, but a larger movement of athletes pushing against outdated perceptions. Their journey mirrors broader societal challenges, where confidence in athletes of color is too often recast as arrogance, and where legacy is treated with suspicion rather than honor. In a world where many young athletes lash out at setbacks, Shedeur displayed poise. His calm reaction to the prank, composed demeanor through media scrutiny, and refusal to attack critics reflect a maturity that NFL teams should be valuing. Yet somehow, that grace was overlooked. His draft fall became a symptom of the league's deeper issue with how it judges character. When confidence is penalized and humility overlooked, the system starts to reveal its biases. The Sanders family didn't respond with bitterness, they responded with resilience. They didn't retreat, they reloaded. In Cleveland, Shedeur steps into a quarterback room with stiff competition. He'll have to earn every rep, but the Browns have been known to let talent rise. If Shedeur performs in training camp and preseason, the same voices that doubted him may soon sing a different tune. The team has a history of unexpected breakout stories. If Shedeur can channel the same fire that fueled his college dominance, there's no reason he can't climb the depth chart. He isn't just fighting for a roster spot, he's challenging the system that underestimated him. Pilar Sanders hasn't just supported her sons, she's amplified their journey. She's called out inconsistencies, confronted criticism, and reminded the sports world that confidence isn't a crime. Shedeur and Shiloh are not just NFL prospects, they are a test case, a reflection of how the league handles legacy, personality, and performance. And whether the world sees it now or later, their impact is already being felt. This isn't the story of a fifth-round fall. It's the start of a legacy that refuses to be dismissed. No apologies necessary. If you believe stories like Shedeur and Shiloh's deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because this isn't just sports, it's a legacy in motion.